Before we unlock these life-changing secrets together, if you're ready to discover what real success looks like through God's eyes, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And if this message already resonates with your heart, show me by dropping a like right now. Your engagement tells me you're serious about transformation. What if I told you that the most successful people in history weren't the ones with the most money, the biggest houses, or the most followers on social media? What if true success was something completely different from what the world has been selling us? Today, we're diving deep into a biblical project that will revolutionize how you think about success, purpose, and the very meaning of your life. Imagine waking up every morning with crystal clear purpose. Imagine facing every challenge with unshakable confidence. Imagine building something so meaningful that it impacts not just your life, but generations to come. This isn't just wishful thinking. This is God's blueprint for authentic success, and it's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. Let's start with a question that will shake you to your core. What is success? The world screams at us daily with its definition. Success is wealth accumulation. Success is climbing the corporate ladder. Success is having millions of followers, driving luxury cars, living in mansions, and being recognized by everyone around you. But here's the shocking truth. This definition of success has left millions of people empty, depressed, and searching for something more. The Bible presents a radically different picture. In the book of Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, God gives us his definition of success. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Notice something crucial here. God's success formula has nothing to do with external achievements and everything to do with internal transformation. Let me tell you about a man who understood this principle better than almost anyone in history. His name was Joseph, and his story will blow your mind. Picture this. Joseph was 17 years old, the favorite son of his father Jacob. He had dreams, literally prophetic dreams from God, that showed him he would one day be a great leader. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of celebrating these dreams, his own brothers became consumed with jealousy and hatred. One day, while Joseph was checking on his brothers in the fields, they saw their opportunity. "Here comes that dreamer," they said mockingly. They grabbed him, threw him into a pit, and then sold him to slave traders heading to Egypt. In one moment, Joseph went from being a beloved son to a slave in a foreign country. By the world's definition, Joseph's success story was over before it even began. But God was orchestrating something magnificent. In Egypt, Joseph was bought by Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. And here's where we see the first principle of God's success blueprint: excellence in every situation. Joseph didn't sulk, complain, or give up. The Bible tells us that the Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. Joseph worked with such integrity and skill that Potiphar put him in charge of his entire household. Everything Joseph touched prospered, but then disaster struck again. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Joseph, and when he refused to compromise his values, she falsely accused him of assault. Joseph was thrown into prison, once again losing everything. Here's what's remarkable. Even in prison, Joseph maintained his character. He helped other prisoners, interpreted dreams, and served with excellence. The warden put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners because he could see God's favor on his life. Joseph was building something invisible but incredibly powerful: character, wisdom, and an unshakable relationship with God. Years passed. Then one day, Pharaoh had troubling dreams that none of his wise men could interpret. Someone remembered Joseph, the Hebrew prisoner who could interpret dreams. Joseph was summoned before the most powerful man in the ancient world. When Pharaoh described his dreams about 7 fat cows, followed by 7 skinny cows, and 7 healthy grain stalks followed by 7 withered ones, Joseph immediately understood. God is showing you what he is about to do, Joseph declared boldly. 7 years of great abundance will come throughout Egypt, followed by 7 years of famine so severe it will devastate the land. You need to find a wise and discerning man to oversee a massive food storage project during the abundant years to prepare for the famine. Pharaoh looked at Joseph and said words that would change history. Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only with respect to the throne will I be greater than you. At age 30, Joseph became the second most powerful man in Egypt, overseeing the largest economic project in ancient history. His God-given wisdom saved not only Egypt, but the entire known world from starvation. And here's the beautiful twist. When the famine reached his homeland, his own brothers had to come to Egypt seeking food, not knowing they would be bowing before the brother they had betrayed decades earlier. Joseph's story reveals the second principle of biblical success: long-term thinking, guided by divine purpose. While the world chases immediate gratification and quick wins, God's success blueprint involves preparation, patience, and perseverance through seasons of testing. Joseph spent 13 years in slavery and prison, but those years weren't wasted. They were preparation for a purpose bigger than he could have imagined. But let's dig deeper into what made Joseph truly successful in God's eyes. It wasn't just that he became powerful and wealthy. The real success was how he used his position. When his brothers stood before him, terrified that he would execute them for their betrayal, Joseph said something that reveals the heart of biblical success. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. This is the third principle. Success is measured by how many lives you positively impact, not by how much you accumulate for yourself. Joseph's success wasn't about personal gain. It was about being God's instrument to preserve life and fulfill divine purpose. Now I need you to pause and think about your own life for a moment. What if the challenges you're facing right now aren't obstacles to your success, but preparation for it? What if God is developing something in you that will enable you to serve a purpose far greater than your current circumstances suggest? The Bible is filled with examples of this pattern. David spent years running from King Saul in caves and wilderness areas before he became king. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before he led the Israelites out of Egypt. Paul was imprisoned multiple times before he wrote most of the New Testament. The pattern is clear. God's success blueprint often includes seasons of preparation that look like setbacks, but are actually setups for divine purpose. Let me share the fourth principle that will revolutionize your approach to success. True success requires surrendering your plans to God's plans. This might be the hardest principle for modern achievers to accept, because we've been conditioned to believe that success comes from forcing our will upon the world. But biblical success works differently. Consider the story of Esther, a young Jewish woman who became queen of Persia through circumstances she never planned or orchestrated. When her people faced genocide, her uncle Mordecai challenged her with words that echo through history. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther risked her life to save her people, and through her courage, the Jewish nation survived. Her success wasn't about climbing to power for personal benefit. It was about being positioned by God to fulfill a life-saving purpose. Or look at Daniel, who was taken captive to Babylon as a teenager. Instead of becoming bitter about his circumstances, he committed to excellence and integrity in a foreign culture. His faithfulness led to incredible influence in multiple kingdoms, and his prophetic insights continue to impact the world thousands of years later. Daniel's success formula was simple: unwavering commitment to God's ways regardless of external pressures. These stories aren't just ancient history, they're blueprints for how God develops successful people in every generation. And here's what I want you to understand. God has a success project designed specifically for your life. It's not a generic template, it's a custom-designed plan that takes into account your unique gifts, experiences, circumstances, and calling. But here's the crucial question. Are you building according to God's blueprint or the world's blueprint? Because these two approaches to success are fundamentally incompatible. The world's blueprint says success comes from self-promotion, competition, and accumulating more than others. God's blueprint says success comes from serving others, developing character, and stewardship of the gifts and opportunities He provides. If you're finding real value in this message and it's challenging your perspective on success, do me a favor and hit that like button right now and drop a comment below telling me, what's one area where you've been following the world's definition of success instead of God's? Your honesty in the comments helps create a community where we can all grow together. Let's talk about the practical application of God's success blueprint in your daily life. The fifth principle is this: daily disciplines determine destiny. Joseph maintained his integrity daily, whether he was in Potiphar's house, in prison, or in Pharaoh's palace. Daniel prayed 3 times daily, regardless of the consequences. David wrote psalms and worshipped consistently through every season of his life. Success in God's kingdom isn't about dramatic moments. It's about faithful consistency in small things. Jesus said, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." This means your current situation, regardless of how small or insignificant it might seem, is your training ground for greater responsibility and impact. Think about your current job, relationships, and responsibilities. Are you approaching them with excellence and integrity? Are you serving others even when no one is watching? Are you developing your character and relationship with God daily? These aren't side issues. These are the building blocks of biblical success. The sixth principle might surprise you. Biblical success embraces seasons of hiddenness. Before Joseph became a ruler, he spent years in obscurity. Before David became king, he served faithfully as a shepherd boy, and then as a warrior in Saul's army without recognition. Before Jesus began his public ministry, he spent 30 years in relative obscurity in Nazareth. Our social media culture has convinced us that if we're not constantly visible and getting recognition, we're not succeeding. But God's success blueprint includes seasons where He's developing us privately before He promotes us publicly. These hidden seasons aren't wasted time. They're the most important times for building the character and capabilities that will sustain us when greater opportunities come. If you're in a season of hiddenness right now, don't despise it. God is preparing you for something bigger than you can imagine. Use this time to grow, learn, serve, and deepen your relationship with Him. The foundation you build in the shadows will determine how high you can build when you step into the light. The seventh principle is revolutionary. True success multiplies beyond your lifetime. When we study Joseph's story, we see that his success didn't end with his death. His faithfulness preserved not only his generation, but positioned his family to become a great nation. The Israelites' time in Egypt, which began with Joseph's wisdom and leadership, eventually led to their miraculous exodus and the establishment of God's chosen people. This is what biblical success looks like. It creates a legacy that outlasts your physical presence on earth. It's about building something that serves God's purposes, not just in your generation, but in generations to come. When you align your life with God's success blueprint, you become part of a story much bigger than yourself. Consider how this applies to your life right now. Are you building something that will only benefit you? Or are you building something that will bless others long after you're gone? Are you developing young people who will carry forward godly principles? Are you creating systems, businesses, or ministries that will continue serving God's purposes beyond your involvement? Biblical success thinks generationally, not just personally. It asks not just, how can I succeed, but how can I succeed in a way that enables others to succeed? This shift in thinking transforms everything about how you approach your goals, relationships, and opportunities. Now let me share the eighth and perhaps most important principle. Biblical success is impossible without divine partnership. Notice that in every story we've discussed, success came not from human effort alone, but from God working through surrendered people. Joseph acknowledged that his ability to interpret dreams came from God. Daniel credited God for his wisdom and insight. Esther recognized that she needed divine intervention to save her people. This doesn't mean you become passive and wait for God to do everything. It means you become actively dependent, working diligently while recognizing that true success comes from God's blessing on your efforts. It means you pray for wisdom, seek God's guidance, and remain humble enough to adjust your plans when He redirects your path. The world's success blueprint promotes self-reliance and independence. God's blueprint promotes dependence on Him and interdependence with others. This creates a completely different dynamic in how you approach challenges, opportunities, and relationships. Let's talk about the ninth principle. Biblical success redefines failure. In the world system, Joseph was a failure multiple times, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned, forgotten. But in God's system, these weren't failures. They were positioning. Every setback was actually a setup for greater impact. This principle will revolutionize how you handle disappointments, rejections, and apparent defeats. Instead of seeing them as evidence that you're not succeeding, you'll begin to see them as God's way of preparing you for something better. This doesn't mean you become passive about difficulties, but it does mean you maintain faith and continue growing even when circumstances seem to be working against you. The final principle I want to share with you today is this: biblical success brings glory to God, not to yourself. When Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he didn't take credit for his ability to interpret dreams. When Daniel was promoted in Babylon, he consistently pointed to God as the source of his wisdom. When Esther saved her people, she gave credit to God's providence. This is perhaps the most countercultural aspect of biblical success. Our culture promotes self-promotion, personal branding, and taking credit for achievements. But God's success blueprint involves deflecting glory to Him while taking responsibility for faithful stewardship. This creates a paradox. The more you deflect glory to God, the more He entrusts you with opportunities to bring Him glory. As we wrap up this exploration of God's blueprint for success, I want you to consider where you are in your own success journey. Are you building according to the world's blueprint or God's blueprint? Are you chasing achievements that will ultimately leave you empty? Or are you pursuing the kind of success that brings lasting fulfillment and eternal impact? Here's what I want you to do right now. If this message has spoken to your heart and challenged your thinking about success, I need you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of people who are committed to discovering and living according to God's blueprints for life, not the world's counterfeits. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what's one area of your life where you're ready to shift from the world's definition of success to God's definition? What's one daily discipline you're going to start implementing to align your life with God's success blueprint? Your comments don't just help you process these principles, they encourage others who are on the same journey. Remember, true success isn't about what you accumulate. It's about who you become and how many lives you impact along the way. It's not about climbing higher than others. It's about lifting others as you climb. It's not about temporary achievements. It's about eternal significance. God has a success project designed specifically for your life. It's bigger than your current circumstances, more meaningful than your current struggles, and more impactful than your current limitations. But it requires you to surrender your plans to His plans, to build character before you build achievements, and to measure success by His standards rather than the world's standards. Your life is not an accident. Your experiences, both good and bad, are not random. God is orchestrating a success story through your life that will bring glory to Him and blessing to others. The question is, will you partner with Him in this project, or will you continue trying to build success according to the world's failing blueprint? The choice is yours, but I pray you'll choose God's way, because when you do, you'll discover that true success isn't just about reaching your destination. It's about becoming the person God designed you to be along the journey. And that kind of success? That's the kind that changes everything, not just for you, but for everyone your life touches. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. If you're ready to dive deeper into God's blueprints for life, make sure you're subscribed and keep watching. Until next time, remember, you're not just building a career or chasing dreams. You're participating in God's eternal success project. Make it count.